Vintage Audio Addict, Repair and Restoration. Okay, today I'd like to talk about vintage audio equipment that's been, quote, serviced. I'm sure many of you have seen those eBay ads where something's listed, it's got serviced in it, recently serviced, serviced by a qualified technician, fully serviced, you name it, ready to go. Works perfectly. I even saw one when I was putting this together. Just got to mention this. I only went 3 or 4 pages down in eBay to look at some of these things they're saying. And one was a cassette deck, and it was fully functional. And at the end, they said they didn't have a cassette to test it with. So I mean, it's just crazy, right? I mean, it is to me anyway. But it's been tested and working. Everything is working great now. What does that mean to you guys out there? To me, with this stuff being said that it's fully serviced, recently serviced, whatever, there should be a receipt. Or if the person did it themselves, like someone like myself who is a hobbyist who repairs, restores equipment, maybe I'd just put a list down. Here's what I did. Where is that list, or where is that receipt for service? You sometimes see that, but it's pretty rare, and that's certainly what I would do if I'd had something serviced and spent a couple $100. I'd show the parts, the labor, and what was done to it, and who worked on it. But it's always serviced could be guy found it at a garage sale. His wife wiped the top of it with a wet towel, and he plugged it in, and the lights came on. So it's serviced. I mean, it could be. But to me, something being serviced, when you're talking about vintage audio equipment, this equipment's 30, 40, 50, or even more years old. Service to me would involve work with the electrolytic capacitors. They all have a limited lifespan, and I know y'all have been out there on the internet and you hear people say don't change them, you don't need to change them. I've never had one go bad. Well, just Google electrolytic capacitor lifespan, and you're going to find out all the manufacturers that made the components inside of your unit, most of them still exist. Most of the electrolytic capacitor companies still are in business. Nishnikon's a very big one, and they have tables and pages and documents. I mean, you don't want to go through it. You really don't. But for every series they make, they talk about the lifespan of their electrolytic capacitors. How about Elna? Any of you Sansui guys? Boy, a lot of those old Sansuis, filled with Elna. And then take a look from from the search I did. The first line, the aluminum electrolytic capacitor has a limited lifespan. These are the manufacturers saying this. Illinois capacitor gives you a little summary about them. Once again, telling you that these capacitors have a limited lifespan, and most of them, without you guys having to go through all the documents, 15 to 20 years is in normal use, is what these manufacturers say that their electrolytic capacitors will last before they start failing in some manner. And not all electrolytic capacitors blow up like this one did. These are ones that I've worked on. This one, right? Nice little explosion. Good to not have your face over that one. Some of them start leaking, and you see this goop down inside your chassis. And again, some of them fail slowly. Now this, I've got my little Atlas capacitor tester on this, and you can see it's 10,420 microfarads. Now the ESR looks good, right? 0.04, so you say, what's wrong with that capacitor? It's an 18,000 microfarad filter capacitor. And it's only reading 10,000 microfarad. Doesn't look bad. Doesn't look like nothing's wrong with it. but obviously there is something wrong with it. And these capacitors fail over a period of time in different ways. I hope anyone who questions the lifespan of electrolytic capacitors finds this information interesting, and you pass it along to the next guy. You know, you just got to Google it, do a little bit of research, and this is from the manufacturers. This isn't some Yahoo in some forum, some Yahoo like me telling you this. These are the people who manufacture these products. They design them, they test them, they validate them, they manufacture them. You know, if you're going to argue that 40 and 50-year-old electrolytic capacitors don't need to be replaced, there's just nothing that's going to convince you, because the manufacturers are telling you, all of them, whether they're Japanese, Chinese, or American, they're telling you that you're long past their lifespans. So what do y'all think when you see an ad that it's been serviced? You can tell from me talking about electrolytic capacitors and what the manufacturers say about their electrolytic capacitors, that if I saw an ad, I would like it to say, I've gone in there and done what the manufacturers recommended to replace them, because they're too old. And they need to be replaced, because even if they haven't shown bulging or haven't started leaking or haven't blown up, that doesn't mean that they're working properly. So for me, it's get those electrolytic capacitors out of there. But I'd be interested to see what other people think. Do you think, you know, do you really need to do that or not? So I'd appreciate some comments about it. Visit vintageaudioaddict.com for more repair and restoration tips on your vintage audio equipment.